Welcome to the Life Success and Legacy Podcast. We're glad you're here, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Life Success Legacy Podcast. I'm Chris Bay, joined by the usual suspects. Got three of the mics from Life Success and Legacy. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
Getting there.
Yes, sir. Getting there. Warming up. Hey, we've been kicking around some ideas, and we've got some new information to share with our listeners, specific to our clients, of course, but we'll unpack that here in a little bit. But infinite banking is not your typical financial thought process. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it almost makes me think of my wife, Sean, is a researcher and a learner, and she's very health focused. But she's not she doesn't go down the typical path of health.
Yeah.
Right. And I think some of us have all, been down that road and experienced different things. Mike Everett, I know you went to another country recently for some health care.
Yep.
And I've got one of my kiddos has some health issues, and it can be challenging sometimes to find those alternative resources, support groups, communities, practitioners to support pursuing your health when it's not the typical mainstream approach.
Right.
And I think in some ways, IBC is like that in the financial world.
Totally.
Right? Mike Kwong, you talked offline a little bit about how IBC is such a narrow path. It's a niche approach. And going back in the day, it was hard to find resources to learn about it. In fact, I remember you even talking about when you and Pay, you couldn't find anything out there really when you started. You even had to, the company said, well, we don't write policies this way. Why don't you get licensed and write your own?
True story.
That's how niche it was. So tell us a little bit about your thought process with it being such a unique approach.
That's exactly right. IBC, I think I mentioned, it's kind of a black sheep in the sense that, it's already within the realm of financial, the financial world, which is already something that people are kind of like, okay, what is that? A little bit guarded. And then even within that, realm, it's really its own thing, and it's contrarian. It's not supported, and it runs against really what a lot of the mainstream, media or the gurus, whatever, talk about, and the entire concept is just, it's still mind blowing, but it's certainly something that is not supported. You mentioned, right? And when you're trying to learn about this, or you find that rabbit hole and you start digging down a little bit, it's easy to feel alone. At least for me, that was our experience. There was no one to talk to, right? There was like an echo chamber between me and Pay. Like, oh, this is awesome. Is it? Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it?
That's great. And that only, and then forget about that. Once you go back into the workplace or whatever, depending on where you're working, right? You got a bunch of, smart people, and we call it the arrival syndrome. You get surrounded with that, and then you hear all this flack, and it's really something, when it's something that's already kind of novel and you're trying to learn. But if you don't have someone else to walk through with that, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Mike Everett, take us back in the day.
Boy, howdy. I tell you, I was just I originally got exposed to IBC, and I'm going to just tell you, and I'm going to do a stop there and think about this. I'm going to go back to what Kwong just said. To have a conversation with somebody is very, very difficult. And 90% of it is, where are they in their financial journey? So getting back to the arrival center, we have so many people that are participating in their jobs. They've got their 401k, they've got their IRAs and stock account. That's what they're used to doing. The media, the garbage, the noise out there pushes us all towards that. I didn't really learn about it until '05, but I was exposed to it in '03. The guy who actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I got a book you need to read." I was hesitant because of where I was financially and the fact that somebody who I didn't completely understand what they were talking about. So the wall went up and I said, no, I don't want to talk about it. And then in '05, ran into the same guy again. I was in a completely different place emotionally, career-wise, and financially. And the question came to me if I could show you a way or a process where you could recover the entire cost of all the cars you would ever buy again or use. Would you be interested? I'm going to tell you what, my ears perked up. I said, I am interested. So keep in mind, that's when this thing jumped into my life, '05. I read it like somebody was going to take it away from me. And then all of a sudden I embarked on a new career. And then this is exactly what we're all talking about. For me now to go and try to expose or talk to somebody about something that, number one, I didn't completely understand. Number two, I was excited about. But number three, I could see down the road far enough to where it could affect and change somebody's financial journey so positively that why wouldn't they want to know about it? So there's so many factors that go into it, but we're talking about community. The community was this big. It was so little. And you, well, I'll just say me, because of my overexcitement, I just said, you know what? Everybody in the world needs to know about this. And I embarked on this crazy journey. And now all of a sudden, 19 years later, we are having fun. I mean, I'm going to go back to '05, '06 when I really got exposed to this. I never in my wildest dreams thought we would have the amount of people that are finding us through our podcast, finding us on the internet, wanting to come to our learning events and learn about this crazy thing called the infinite banking concept. But I'm going to talk about this community, these guys that are on here, and of course, Haley and Shelly as well, because of the community that we have really solidified in our own lives. People understand that we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We do it well, and we care for our clients. Ooh, sorry.
That's good. You know, using my wife's experience with kind of alternative health approaches, a lot of times she can feel like she's alone, kind of like Mike Kwong, Mike Everett back in the day when you guys were first learning about this, and you're searching for a couple things: that reinforcement, that community where you can share ideas, the expert that you can lean on, right? And I've watched my wife. I mean, she has reached out and does Zoom meetings with these experts that are not here local, so that she's continuing to get that guidance and that support. And then sometimes those folks have communities online communities that they've built, so that they can support each other and share ideas and resources and things like that. And that makes me transition to you, Mike Crawford. We at Life Success and Legacy love the community. And we love our coaching sessions. We love our boot camps. those opportunities to connect with our IBC community are fantastic.
Mhm.
And over time, we have kicked around the idea of how can we create more or another avenue for our clients, not only to connect with us, but also with each other.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell our listeners a little bit about our Life Success Legacy Community Discord and what we're
Yeah.
creating?
So over the last couple of years, we've kind of been monitoring the DIBS group, which we've talked loosely about, and we can circle back to if that's part of this conversation. But Mike and Pei created a group for their dynamic income banking system crew, people that are engaged with all of that. And we've kind of been following that and excitedly watched it grow, organically, but also, just through, word of mouth and excitement within that community kind of bubbling over. And we were trying to figure out a good way to expand the LSL, infinite banking community a little bit more. Mostly because what we find is that a lot of the questions that people are having are ones that other people are already having. So they're, you and I, Chris, might have a question that Mike and Pei have already talked about, or, Mike Everett might have a thought or a concern that, I've never thought of, and I'd like to hear it, and that goes beyond our team, but we were trying to find a way to engage our IBC community within the LSL family on these different topics and just create opportunities for those discussions to have a place to live and for folks to refer back to, and additional resources that help us streamline some of our client communications. And that includes things like, hey, I forgot how to file a form to request a loan from Emeritus, or I don't really remember how I got logged into the MTL portal. Is there any information on that? And I know some of these things, like, some people are kind of like, whatever, but that's not all that we wanted to include. It's just a part of it. And so we've created, and we're kind of in the next level here. We're about to send out some really good information for folks to engage with this community. There's no cost to it, just like any of our other educational tools. We're not, using this to feed our families. This is just an opportunity for us to create an additional avenue for folks to have that community engagement. And the idea behind the Discord is it is a platform that is a free platform to use. And our goal within it is to create channels or conversational topics that will be continually honed over the course of time. They're not going to start off perfect, but our goal is to create that space and the freedom to ask those questions that you can't wait till the next boot camp to ask, or that, maybe Mike Everett got too busy and just didn't get back to you as fast as you wanted, or something like that, And so, we hope that this can create that engagement and that we can continue to grow our community through our education, because again, that is the platform that we continually fall back on as a team. Yeah. And we believe that it is the best way to not only educate those in our community, but we hope that it is an opportunity for those who are in our community to continue educating themselves and those around them.
So, Mike Kwong, you and Pei have created this DIBS WhatsApp group, and it's kind of been a little bit of a test pilot for us to watch and observe and see how it works and those things. Can you, for our listeners, for those who maybe are not a part of the DIBS group, can you just describe what happens, like relationally, the community, the potlucks, what has grown out of this DIBS WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I mean, the simplest way I can explain it is it's a special interest group, and I really mean special in the sense, like we talked about, IBC is obviously its own, magical, concept, which is awesome, and we support. But there's also the income snowball, right? And because they work so well together, right? I mean, my book, it's kind of combines the two concepts, and many of our our clients and our people have been doing both. and it's a place like that is virtual in the sense that, yeah, we have people all over the country, really, actually, even in other countries that are clients and have been kind of on this journey, right? Because that's what it is. It's one step at a time, but we're in it together, and it's a great place for community as well. And it's almost like a 24/7, Q&A or FAQ, where we've got now over 160 members, right, that are just all in it, and it's a safe space, I say that not lightly, because this is a scary thing. I mean, especially one is, one thing, the other, but when you're doing them together, it gets a little bit, complicated at times. And it's really nice to have a community again, a place where you are familiar voices, and friends. Really, they've developed friendships over this time, tight bonds, and a lot of trust. Again, forming long-lasting relationships is really the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
So been really fun.
Well, and we all got the opportunity to go down to Houston, and we held a boot camp. And because of your Dibs group, many of them used it as an opportunity to kind of have like a Dibs family reunion.
That's it. Yeah.
People flew in from all over the country to meet. And so that weekend we did our boot camp, our live boot camp, but there were other events and other meetups going on face to face where people were meeting for the very first time in the flesh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that really all came from this WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So again, go ahead.
From my perspective on that, it was like proof of concept. The WhatsApp group has 160 people, you said, give or take.
Yeah.
That is a big number, but it's also not, right? I mean, we're not talking like there was 1,000 people. And how many people chose to commute far and wide to come to Houston last November to meet Mike and Pay, maybe even part of our LSL team, whatever it was, but their purpose was beyond the walls of the WhatsApp group. And so, there were, I would say, 15 to 20% of their entire group on the Dibs channel showed up to that event, if you do the simple math. And so that's a big commitment to people, and so when you look at the proof of concept behind that, I think it's a really inspiring thing for the need of that type of community.
Yeah, and then there's splinters that happen, right? I mean, people will meet and then they'll have kind of this shared interest that's connected, but maybe not everybody's involved. And so they actually meet offline or on their own and start having these conversations. And that's really almost how Nino, Gonzalez, and Pay, that's how their podcast came out of this, Finding Financial Fitness, right?
Yep.
That's how their podcast came out, which is just getting started. So check out Finding Financial Fitness with Nino, Gonzalez, and Pay. And so that's a whole nother group that is looking at, okay, financial fitness is not just about finance. It's also about our physical health. It's a holistic approach, right? I can be financially fit, but I may not have other elements in my life. So you find these little splinter off relationships that support your goals. And that's kind of the idea, Mike Crawford, of the channels within Discord is, okay, I'm interested in, let's say I got a bunch of consumer debt. And my focus right now is I want to get that wind current turned. And how do I decide which debt to pay off first? Is that a conversation that could take place inside that Discord channel?
Yes,
absolutely.
And I think that's the goal of that channel is the evolution of the channel will be determined by those participating. And so there aren't a lot of opportunities for these types of conversations, we don't believe, in terms of other organizations or groups that are providing this type of space. That being said, we also are not under the impression that we know exactly what everybody wants to know or wants to chat about. And so our goal with it is to create the space and then allow it to organically grow and include those in our group. And I mean this not by our team group, I mean this by our IBC group, that help facilitate this for us. Not just that we want to hand it off per se, but it's more of a, we know that the goal of this is beyond our team's borders, and it is entirely up to those who participate to help shape it.
Absolutely. So, Mike Crawford, if I'm an LSL client and I'm listening to this, what do I do? How do I find out about this? What are the next steps?
Yeah. So, the email has already been sent out. If you missed the email, please refer to us, contact me, directly. My email's on the website. You can, just reach out, contact us, whatever. I'll see all of it. We've sent out an email that includes all the information on how to find the Dibs group. Again, it's Dibs, excuse me. I'm so sorry. The Discord group, it is a free app. You can do it on your phone, on a browser. You can download it, an actual app on your Mac or PC. You don't have to do any of that. You can just use it in the browser as well. And all that information, is in that email. Information on the website that we create, or the page that we created on our website, that includes all of that extra information, how to file the claim, some videos and tutorials that Chris Bay has put together over the last several years, information about some of the books available, which most of you already know about, but again, just have them there at your disposal if you so desire. And so if you didn't get that email and you are interested, just reach out to me directly, and I will be happy to help you get on board. If you got the email and were a little bit concerned because you didn't know how the platform would work, you're welcome to also reach out to me, and I'll be happy to walk through not only the setup, but giving you some insights on what the channel is supposed to look like.
So fun. Yeah, we're really excited because it is another point of connection with our clients, and then also with each other. We have had a lot of these individual from us to client relationships, and now what we're trying to do with this Discord community is connect clients with each other. Over the years, I mean, I've connected lots and lots of clients with each other because they have similar questions or ideas or things they're working on. I'm like, who's really good at that? That's Ron Swall's doing a ton of that stuff. Let me connect you with Ron Swall, and you guys go. This Discord is going to just mathematically expand those possibilities of connections between clients and then also with us. Yes. So we're super, super excited. Keep an eye out for that email. Find it. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us. Again, Mike Crawford said he's probably the go-to on this. He's going to be your most helpful person. Maybe. Well, given
he's still
the
helping me.
Given the yahoos that are on this screen right now, I highly recommend you reach out to Mike Crawford. And I will also say, if you are interested in this this passive income and the Dibs conversation, read Mike Kwong's book, Dibs on Your Money. And if you are a client and you are interested in the income snowball and those kinds of things, we can get you connected with this Dibs WhatsApp group as well. To our listeners, thank you as always for joining us. We hope to see you in the Discord, and we look further enhancing the relationships that we have with you and then also with each other within our client base. So, Mike's, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. And have a great day. Check us out at lifesuccesslegacy.com. And we've got lots of resources there for you. We'll catch you next time.